Welcome once again into the sports room on this Friday show, the Friday before Christmas. Boys, this will be our last show before Christmas, and hopefully we are not the first. Hopefully we're not the first ones to wish everybody listening and watching very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It's that time of year, gentlemen.
It's that time of year. Wake up, listen to Christmas music.
Derek went skiing today. You went skiing today?
Yeah, I went skiing today.
Broke your back
And my
because you freaking suck at skiing, dude.
femurs. So.
And obviously, one of us really likes Christmas. There's two of us in this room that love Christmas.
Love it.
And it's evident by their dress, and there's one who does not.
Scrooge.
I'm not wearing a Christmas
As you can tell, I'm repping my boy, Rudolph, the ultimate underdog story. Started from the bottom, now he's leading the pack.
Did you hear what Jimmy
Leading
Fallon
the
said
pack.
about, or when he read those funny Christmas tweets, and he read one about Rudolph, and he said, it was the thank you letter. He said, thanks, Rudolph, for reminding us that even if people don't like you, they'll pretend to like you to get some help.
It's true, dude. Rudolph's my boy.
Your boy.
In the face of ultimate scrutiny, comes through in the clutch.
He's the man.
And then Biggen, who's not on camera, we'll tweet out a picture of what he's wearing, but he's got the Mike Tyson sweatshirt going.
Look at my Mike Tyson shirt.
What does it say on it?
It says Merry Christmas.
And it's got a picture of Mike Tyson wearing a Santa hat surrounded by white tigers.
I've never met somebody that loves Mike Tyson as much as Biggen likes.
Hey, I love Mike Tyson.
That's a great Christmas sweater. And then Derek's wearing a shirt that says Diamond 1998 USA Skate Team.
Keeping it real since 1998. Apparently.
Oh, wow.
That was 6.
So obviously, two of us in this room really appreciate the holiday, and someone else doesn't. But it's whatever. Cool, dude.
Is your favorite movie The Grinch, Derek?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Of course it is.
That's probably my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, I just forgot.
I've said this once. I'll say it a million times over. Jim Carrey's performance in The Grinch is one of the greatest acting performances of all time.
I agree. I concur.
It absolutely is.
Yeah,
and it gets no love
for
because
sure.
it's like a kid movie.
Man.
But name another actor on the planet that can do that.
Nobody. Because Mike Myers sucked in Cat in the Hat. That was bad.
Nobody else can do that.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I forgot to wear a Christmas sweater, and they're giving me a hard time about it.
Derek walked into the sports room today and looked at both me and Darius and
dropped a hard F. I did not do that.
He said fun.
Fun? Did I forget to wear a sweater?
Fun. We just like to mix it up here a little bit, be a little festive. But whatever, dude.
I would say I didn't get the memo. I got the memo. I forgot.
Any fun, particular Christmas traditions, things that you guys do? Maybe tie it into sports a little bit. Biggen?
Definitely watch sports on Christmas. That's a huge family thing. At least me and my dad.
There usually is a football game or two. And there's always 2 or 3 usually good basketball games. We have a couple good games this year.
Oh, yeah. And food.
Do you eat anything in particular?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
Grandma, she makes a peach cobbler, sweet potato pie, some greens, honey glazed ham, turkey. She goes in. Macaroni. Macaroni is the most popular dish. And if it's not there, it's not Christmas.
It's quite a slate of food there.
We wake up and have a egg souffle. Shout out to Tammy Crystal.
Okay.
Egg souffle.
Egg
You might have to
souffle.
explain to me what that is because my
I would
culinary
explain to
vocabulary
you
is
if I knew exactly what was involved, but
not very big.
It's just like an egg. It's like an egg. It's like a souffle.
I have no idea what a souffle is. That's the word.
Look it up. I can't describe it, but there's ham in it too, and it's really tasty.
Come out and say it, Derek. It's eggs for rich people.
Yeah.
See, with the name like souffle. That's what it is.
So we get some rich people to make us some egg souffle, and then we have that in the morning with, my mom makes like sweet rolls and whatnot.
Ooh.
My mom's a good cook.
Souffle, a low murmuring or blowing sound heard through a stethoscope. I don't think that's what we're looking for
exactly
here.
What it is. Hit it right on the head. Couldn't have said it better.
Okay, here it is. Sorry. I started reading and I couldn't stop and I had to finish. A light, spongy baked dish made typically by adding flavored egg yolks to stiffly beaten egg whites.
Toasty. That's what it is.
I know Derek's mom personally, and she's a saint and is an excellent cook. Tammy, if you're watching or listening, it's for you. I don't know. Okay, so first of all, our traditions start on Christmas Eve night. We usually play Halo for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And it's usually out on Xbox Live.
For a long time.
And dominate. I think we might play zombies this year because we've been kind of on a zombies craze lately, but play video games into the wee hours of the morning and then wake up super early. open some gifts, have some food. Last year, I watched Cavs Warriors with my brother, and that was probably the best NBA regular season game of the year, for sure. That was the game, Cavs were down pretty much the whole game, came back at the end. LeBron had that incredible slam, and then basically had a seizure while hanging on the rim. That was that game.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
I used to, when my mom used to set up for Christmas, she'd bring out the tree and all the decorations, and she'd bring them out in all these boxes. And when I was a little kid, I used to play football in my house by myself.
By yourself?
By myself. You can ask any member of any member of my family. I would have.
So you were the offense, the defense, the special teams, and the refs all at once.
And I was so fair. My teams would lose all the time because they always lost in real life. So I would run around and I would dodge. I would take hits.
Do you like set up an obstacle course or what? Or do you just?
My mom would be like pulling stuff out to put it all up for Christmas, and I would just use that as like defenders. And even when she didn't do that, I would do it all the time. And I would play seasons.
But in particular on Christmas.
Like, I don't know how to explain this, but I used to keep stats. I used to do everything. Like, that's all I did.
You keep stats.
I would keep stats. I had MVP. I had.
Oh wow.
I had playoffs. I had it all set out. So, but when Christmas time was my favorite, when she'd take out all of her Christmas decorations and I'd run around and play football in my basement by myself.
Hey.
Did you ever play any sports by yourself, Biggen?
No.
I mean, I usually play with friends because I have friends.
Right.
Most of the time, nobody wanted to play with me because I was too big.
I played all the time until Cameron Fail finally moved next door. For those who don't know Cameron Fail, he was my black neighbor. We played basketball one-on-one.
And have dunk contests and stuff.
And all that practice paid off because I beat him.
I feel like you have a comment about that, Biggen.
No comment. Just all laughter.
Okay, look. All right, let's be real. We live in Utah. Okay, there aren't very many black people here.
There's not. There's two of us here, and it's all right.
And we have one of them in this room.
We're all related.
And so whenever you have a black neighbor, it's worthy of note, I feel like. And has nothing
and
to
also,
do with
it did credit his athleticism, make it higher. So when I said that I beat him, it made me sound better.
That's because you are, Derek. Everybody knew that. You're the GOAT. Oh, I forgot. There is a tradition I do have. I'm 23 years old, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I watch A Christmas Story at least 6 times on Christmas Eve.
Good.
At least
Christmas
6 times.
Eve?
Because
one day. You watch A Christmas Story 6 times in a day.
They have the 24-hour marathon, and I'll watch it. Sometimes I'll fall asleep, but I watch it at least twice all the way through. But 6 times, I'll sit there for it. That's my
so
what?
Good.
I've never seen A Christmas Story.
You're missing out on greatness.
That's the one with like the.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Pole, right? With the cross.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
you gotta watch Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm. That's a classic.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation.
Should we do a quick power rankings of Christmas movies?
Top 5.
Top 5?
I say Elf, not in no particular order. Elf, Grinch, Christmas Vacation, It's a Wonderful Life, and Just Friends. Throwing Just Friends out there as a Christmas movie, hilarious.
Bradley Cooper. I'm not Bradley Cooper.
All
Ryan
5
Reynolds
this season.
I think
Reynolds.
Of those ones that would carry over for mine would probably be Elf, The Grinch, and Christmas Vacation. It's a Wonderful Life. I get the message. I get why it's a Christmas classic. But I don't know. It always was just kind of like, I've seen it like twice, and it's just, I don't know.
Heartless.
I just don't care about other people or like general good sentiment in my body. So.
Oh.
And then I'd probably add. I love the Santa Claus 2.
Those are good.
A little corny, it's obviously a kid show, but
though.
like those ones are good. The Santa, except for the third one wasn't that good. The first one was aight.
Have you watched Just Friends? Have you seen that?
Oh, that's a great movie.
Gosh, you got to see that.
That is the ultimate friend zone book.
Just Friends.
Guide.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's like
kinda familiar.
you can watch it throughout the whole year, but it's centered around Christmas, so you should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got it as a
Ryan
Christmas
Reynolds.
movie.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Oh, I have seen that actually.
So good.
And it's got Anna Faris.
And Andy Smart.
And he's like a music producer. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And that's the one at the beginning when he's like, I swear.
Yes.
By the moon. Yeah, I've seen that. Seen it a long time ago. That is a funny movie. What about you, Biggen? Power rankings, Christmas movies?
I would say A Christmas Story, Elf, Just Friends. For some reason, I really like Christmas with the Cranks. But
That's Tim Allen.
I'm going to substitute that with the Grinch. Sorry. So I'm throwing the Grinch in there. And then my 5th one, y'all probably haven't seen this one, but Friday After Next is
Never even heard of it. Have you seen it?
Have you heard of Friday?
Yeah,
the movie
it's
Friday?
today.
You never seen the movie? Y'all have never seen Friday?
Friday.
You had a black neighbor and you never watched Friday.
I had grits.
Oh my God. America, Derek had grits. Okay. Friday After Next is a movie with there's 3 of them. Friday, Next Friday, Friday After Next. Ice Cube's in all of them. He produced all of them. They're huge in the black community, but Friday After Next is definitely number 5 for me. It's hilarious.
I have to watch that one while I eat grits.
And fried chicken.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, that was.
Was that racist? I didn't mean to be racist.
Darius, was that racist?
I mean,
I came off so
just
racist.
assuming that black
Hey, look,
people only eat fried chicken.
I was friends with Cameron as well, and I had other friends in high school who were black, and they told me that they enjoyed fried chicken, that it was soul food.
I love fried chicken, but it's not my favorite.
I'm just saying that is like one of the.
Yo.
That's like one of the stereotypes.
Everybody watching, listening, I am not racist.
He ain't racist, y'all.
I have an adopted black brother.
Look, Riley ain't racist. I know he ain't. I'm just laughing because it's funny. Because fried chicken ain't my favorite food. Catfish is my favorite food, but But hey, fried chicken is good. Popeyes is like number 5 on my list for eats, so it's all good.
You got some beef with me, Derek?
No, I have no beef. Oh, that was funny.
It
No
was
beef,
funny.
just chicken. There's the pump there.
All right, let's talk about this Cavs-Warriors matchup on Christmas Day. This is the second, or maybe I think it's the 3rd year in a row that they've played on Christmas Day.
Christmas.
They're usually some of the best games. I believe this year it's in Oakland at the Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry, big doubt. I have him on my fantasy team. I'm following his status every day. I'm pretty sure he's not going to play. Not even going to be reevaluated for another few days.
Mm-hmm.
In his absence, though, the Warriors have pretty much stayed on par with how they've been. Durant's been playing great. Huge Christmas Day matchup with the Cavs. Initial thoughts, guys?
I love that these guys play on Christmas.
I do too.
I feel bad for whoever's traveling. So the Cavs this year are going to be traveling to. I don't feel bad for them. Let's be real, but
I kind of feel bad for them.
no,
They're
they
away
get
from their
paid
family.
enough.
Yeah, but they
It's
do.
fine.
But yeah, if you get paid enough, you don't need memories or
You
like
don't need
family.
family. What do you mean family?
Bring them to the game. Fly them out there. But other than that, I love watching these games on Christmas. Last year's was, if I'm not mistaken, came down to the end, was really close. They were going at it to the end, and I hope it's like that again.
I'm excited for it, especially because Cleveland's playing out of their mind right now. Obviously, tough loss to Milwaukee a couple days ago. But Golden State's on a 9-game winning streak, and they've won 6 without Steph Curry. So I think it's going to be a good game because you got 2 of these teams, arguably the best in their conferences. Obviously, Houston sitting at number 1, Golden State at 2. But I think it's going to be a good battle, like it has been every year. LeBron wants to ice the Warriors, and they want to ice him. And if Draymond's back, yeah, it's going to be a chippy Christmas.
If you're the Cavs and you win, I mean, they didn't have Steph Curry.
Right.
Which is, first of all, going to make it less interesting to watch. But if the Cavs win, or if they lose,
Right.
and they don't have Steph Curry, it's
a lose
here we
lose.
go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, look, as far as these games go, no matter what happens, you're going to get in the locker room at the end, and everyone's going to say, yeah, it was just another game. It was just one of 82. And while the literal definition is true that it's just one game in the regular season, these games mean something.
Oh, yeah.
When they play each other, no matter what the situation, the scenario is, it means something to the guys on both teams. They've developed, I think, a real, genuine rivalry between these two teams. Obviously, they've played the last 3 finals, so that would go without saying. But I think there is genuine distaste and dislike among certain players of this team. LeBron's really buddy-buddy with a lot of people in the league. On the court might be different. Off the court, I feel like he's friends with pretty much everybody, which is okay. Right. But I feel like a lot of the role players on the Warriors and the Cavs really dislike the other team.
Yeah.
And so I think while they're, like I said, they're going to end up in the locker room, they're going to say, yeah, it was just another game. But I think it means something to them. And for the morale and the psyche going into what's, more than likely going to be a 4 straight finals.
Well, and think about it. Kevin Durant's a guy when he came into the league and even into his veteran years, he's a guy that LeBron kind of mentored, a guy that he trained with in the summer. Those guys, they have a connection off the court too. And then Steph Curry, he was a kid that used to hang around LeBron James. LeBron James mentored him too in camps, was going to watch him play at Davidson, was mentoring him when he was young in the league. So to get beat by those guys and you being the one to basically kind of inspire them, oh yeah, there's definitely some tension there. You love him and you care about him, but it's like big brother never wanting to lose to his little brother. So the fact that he's lost to him twice, yeah, regular season feels like a championship game. I feel for LeBron.
The Warriors don't respect LeBron, it doesn't feel like, in the same way the rest of the league does.
They don't.
They don't fear him, I don't think, at all.
I don't think so.
And not a lot of teams, if any other team in the league, could say that. The Warriors just, no matter what LeBron does, it doesn't allow them to take them out of their game at all. In fact, they force the Cavs to play the way that they want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron doesn't necessarily impose his will on a game as clearly when he's playing the Warriors as he does when he's playing other teams. And I think that is due in large part to the fact that the Warriors don't respect him the same way the players in the league do. They beat him twice in the finals now. And really, they don't have any reason to. Yeah. He's played well in those finals, I guess, but, they got the rings.
That's true.
I would predict that the Warriors are going to come out, and even without Steph Curry, I think they're going to handle the Cavs.
I think
they're
so.
going to handle them, too. Because I think it's going to make LeBron go back and think, we got to do something.
Yeah, I think when both teams are healthy, these are the two best teams in the NBA. Still.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Say what you want about Houston. They've been hot lately. And Chris Paul, I still think I won't believe in Houston until I see him actually do something.
Yep.
And I feel the same way about Toronto and kind of the same way about Boston. I feel like they're first in the East, They're first in the East right now. But when you get in a 7-game series with LeBron, yeah, I don't know.
Who do you think would get more calls in that game, LeBron James or James Harden?
Harden.
Oh,
Harden. No one in the league gets more calls than Harden.
But, if they're playing in the finals, I wonder who...
Oh.
Dude, that finals would be like watching... Cool, I can
There would
watch
be
a bunch
60
of pros shoot free throws.
Yeah. Who's
Free
got
throws.
the better free throw percentage?
It's going to be James Harden, so...
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no one in the league gets more calls than Harden. I don't think.
No.
All right.
Well, when you Euro step,
Because
90% of the time.
he's just small enough that when he gets hit, it looks like he gets hit hard. LeBron's huge. It's like you have to really hit him to make it look like he's getting hit hard.
I went to the Jazz Rockets game, and it was... Because I was like, I got to watch a superstar. I'm going to watch James Harden. I love James Harden. I was like, he's not that fun to watch, I'm going to be honest. He's just like...
He scores like 30 a night, but like 17.
I looked up and I was like, oh my gosh, he has 25 points already. And I was like,
How?
He hasn't done anything but shoot free throws. Boring.
The Rockets are playing on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm. Rockets are playing the Oklahoma City Thunder.
The Thunder, who have been playing a little bit better and now find themselves in the playoffs as things stand. I believe the 6th seed,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
One of the better defensive teams in the league, surprisingly. It's been the offense that's been sputtering with them. Still trying to find the dynamic between Russ, Carmelo, Paul George, but seem to be figuring things out. That's a good game too. Number 1 versus number 6 in the East or in the West, excuse me. So plenty of good sports. There's NFL. Is there NFL? There's NFL on Christmas Day as well.
There is NFL on Christmas. You got at least
Eagles are playing.
not really two notable games, but Houston and Pittsburgh, and then Philly and Oakland.
So 2 playoff teams playing 2 teams that will not be going to the playoffs.
Yeah, basically. 2 gimme games, which is what it should be.
Interesting to watch Nick Foles. I think probably the biggest storyline in those 2 games. I think Pittsburgh will probably take care of business. But interesting to watch Nick Foles and see how well he can play. He played well against the Giants, started slow but played well. And you'll have to see how he plays against this on Christmas and see
if he plays well or see if he Nick folds.
Derek loves puns. For those listening and watching,
Very punny.
I don't even know if you knew that about him.
I call him dad jokes.
Dad
Dad
jokes?
jokes?
Dad jokes.
Hey,
I love those jokes.
I
like
feel like
him.
they're just puns.
Yeah. All right.
call
be
them for
wrong.
what they are, please.
Could be wrong. Derek loves puns. So
He's
see how
very-
many more
he's very
of those-
punny.
We need to get a little ding noise.
For every pun I
For every
make.
pun. Ding. Tally it up. But that got us thinking. So when we were planning the show today, we wanted to talk about the Cavs and the Warriors, preview that game a little bit. But that got us thinking. We're not quite to halfway in the NBA season, but by the time you get to the All-Star break, you're past halfway. And so we thought what we'd do for the rest of the show today is do our NBA midseason awards.
Yeah.
And so this is how it's going to go. We're going to do 5 midseason awards. We're going to do Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Most Improved Player, Breakout Player of the Year, and MVP.
when you get this far into the season, you have a pretty good idea of what the rest of the season is going to be like. You kind of know what you have. You know which teams are going to be good, which teams aren't going to be good. You know which players are going to light it up and which ones aren't. So we're going to give you our mid-season NBA awards. And so we're going to go ahead and start with Rookie of the Year. Do you want to go first, Biggen? Rookie of the Year?
I will go first. My Rookie of the Year, I think a lot of people would agree with this too, especially people in this geographical area. Donovan Mitchell. That's who I'm going with. I mean, this year he's averaging 17 and looks like 3. So, I mean, 3.4, not great on the assist end of things, but still having a great year.
No rookie in the league carries a larger load than he does.
No, not at all.
That's indisputable, I think. No rookie in the league carries more of a load for his team than Donovan Mitchell does. As I presume that's what you have too for rookie.
Yeah, so what else am I going to do? Donovan Mitchell for sure. But when I was looking at like the stats of these rookies, so like Kuzma and Simmons, and they're all in the 17 range, like 17
as far as points
go. And Ben Simmons averages more rebounds and assists than any of them, obviously. But the reason why, if you look at Donovan Mitchell, like it's since he's been carrying that load.
Yep.
Like the beginning of the season, he wasn't playing a ton.
Last month of the season, probably I'd say.
Most games, other than I think the last game, he drops over 20 a game, and he is carrying the load for the Jazz. Like even in the post game interview with Rodney Hood, they were like, "Yeah, we didn't have Donovan out here, so I had to step up scoring." Like he's referring to the rookie as being, their go-to guy. So Donovan Mitchell's carrying the load as of right now. He's the guy, Rookie of the Year.
I think so.
My heart wants to agree with you guys. Like I said, my heart wants to.
My mind's telling me no.
I want the Jazz to be good.
No, dude, you're not a Jazz fan.
And I want Donovan Mitchell to win it. I do. And look, this is the way that the rule for this is set up is silly anyway, because Ben Simmons should not be allowed in this category.
No.
I stand by that. He should not be. He's been in the league a year, whether or not he's played. He's been in the league. He's traveled with the team. He played in the summer league last year. And so he's been in the league a year. But this is officially his rookie season. And he is having the best season of any rookie. Like I said, probably shouldn't be included in this category. It's a dumb rule, but it is what it is. Okay? He leads rookies in assists per game, rebounds per game, steals per game, and average minutes. Mm-hmm. And he's first in field goal percentage with a minimum of 200 shots. There are some rookies who have like a 70% field goal percentage because they shoot once a game. He and Embiid have completely turned around the Sixers.
They have.
They've been struggling a little bit lately, I'd say. But even to be in the conversation to getting into the playoffs for them is a huge success. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but he's 6'9" and he's a point guard, which means he is constantly probably defending the other team's best player, whether it's a point guard, shooting guard, or a small forward. And he is a good defensive player. He has great defensive statistics. The steals per game, he averages 2 steals a game. The next person is like 1.12 or something like that. And same with blocks. And so I think the way that he has been a leader of the Sixers, him and Embiid, it's hard to say that he's not Rookie of the Year right now. I think if Mitchell keeps this up the rest of the season, and if the Jazz can squeak into the playoffs, I think he probably will win it. But as things stand right now, for me, it's got to be Ben Simmons.
I think Mitchell's right behind him. He has 1.5 steals per game. I think he's the next guy in line.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to look at – take note. There's another one. Take note, Bubba. Donovan Mitchell, he's averaging more points, and that's based off of, like you said, basically the last month, because he was not getting the playing time that Ben Simmons was getting. And Ben Simmons is going to get more rebounds. He's a bigger guy. He's bigger. Ben Simmons, though, is shooting 55% from the free throw line as a point guard. That is terrible. I know that's one stat, but that is abysmal. He's like third worst in the whole NBA.
I mean, sure, that obviously is bad. Okay, there's no two ways about that. That's obviously a terrible percentage, but we knew this about him when he came into the league, that he wasn't a good shooter. He was more of a creator and a slasher and getting to the basket. I didn't think it was that bad.
He is good. I also think I think it's pretty neck and neck. I think Donovan Mitchell's got to keep it up to get Rookie of the Year for sure.
I think by the season's end, he could probably be averaging 19, 20 a game.
But it's tough. I think if Donovan Mitchell had Embiid down there, he'd probably be getting more assists as well.
Sure.
But he doesn't, totally so you can't use that. But
Yeah.
Ben Simmons has that weapon as well. I think Ben Simmons shouldn't be considered as well, but either way, the best part about this whole conversation is that Lonzo Ball's not in it.
Yeah.
So let's just focus on the good. I'd rather be Ben Simmons any day.
Lonzo Ball's name has not been mentioned once because it shouldn't be mentioned in this conversation. He is, in comparison to other rookies throughout the league, he is not even close. He's not close. Jason Tatum, for as far as I'm concerned, is closer to winning Rookie of the Year than Lonzo Ball is. He's been off. Not awful, but he's not in this conversation for being Rookie of the Year.
Absolutely not.
All right, so moving on. So we've got Mitchell, Simmons for Bubba. Let's do Coach of the Year. You want to go first for Coach of the Year, Derek?
Yeah, I'll go first. It was a toss-up. So didn't Mike D'Antoni win it last year? He did win it last year. I
believe he won it last year, yeah.
So this year, I would honestly... So I was debating between two coaches, and I'll tell you who I think I think it should be up to this point. I think it should be Nate McMillan from the Pacers, because they lost Paul George, and they're 18-14, and they're sitting at the 4 spot in the East right now. But that whole thing is close. The reason why I almost didn't pick him was because I was going to pick Jeff Hornacek, because they lost Carmelo, who my dad refers to Carmelo as a cancer to the team. And so he thinks that was good. But Jeff Hornacek lost. You lose a primary scorer like that. Nate McMillan loses a primary scorer like Paul George. And they're both sitting at 18-14 and 17-14 in the middle of the East in the playoffs. That's pretty good. And you could give it to D'Antoni again for being 25-5 or whatever. But taking a team like that, and I think Nate McMillan losing Paul George and sitting where you're at right now is a good accomplishment.
Yeah, that's what I went with too. I went with Nate McMillan. How many teams would trade away their best? How many teams in the league right now could trade away their best player and have a better record? You know what I mean? That's basically what's happened here. They traded away Paul George, and they got back youth, basically. They got back Sabonis and Victor Oladipo, who's been great.
Been monstrous.
And he deserves credit for that. He deserves credit for Victor Oladipo having the best season of his career, by far. But how many teams in the league could trade away their best player and then be better? You know? And that's exactly what the Pacers have done. They're 4th in the East, I want to say. They're better. They're higher up in the rankings and the standings at this point in the season than they were last year with Paul George. And so he deserves that award for as far as I'm concerned, and deserves a lot of credit for what he's doing.
I would agree. Does LeBron James count as a coach? Because he might as well be a coach.
Might as well be.
That's not my choice.
I think Tyronn Lue's the most overrated coach in the league, but that can be a discussion for a different day.
Should win it.
Just a wee bit.
Take that for data.
You know, I was going and that's why he's jobless. I was
going to take it for data.
I was going to be cliche and say Steve Kerr because of the way he handles all those superstars in Golden State. But
did he win it? Has he won one?
I thought he won. I thought he won it the year they won the championship.
Didn't coach
did he win
80%
when they won
of the games.
I thought he did the first championship.
Did they win his first? That first year they won the title. His first year as coach.
I think so. I'll have to check. I'll have to fact check that.
You can look it up in a sec, but you can keep going.
But the coach I'm going with is, and it surprised me too, I'm going with Brad Stevens out in Boston. I like what Boston has done. They don't really have a lot of superstars. They don't have a lot of firepower, if you ask me, in Boston right now. Gordon Hayward gets hurt. You have to rely on scoring from Jason Tatum. He's a young guy. He's a rookie. You don't really expect him to put that load on his back right away unless he's LeBron James. And you have Kyrie. And I think the offense that he has set up and the schemes that he set up have allowed Kyrie to be more effective than he was in Cleveland. Now, when you look at Kyrie play, you're like, he was the same guy. But Kyrie's allowed to take the lead now. He doesn't have to worry about LeBron James, doesn't have to worry about another guy getting touches. Kyrie's going to go off for his 30, and he's going to facilitate to Al Horford. He's going to facilitate to Tatum, and he's going to make things happen, which he has, and I think that's why they're sitting at a 26-9 record, and I think a lot of that is owed to Brad.
The hardest thing for any coach in the NBA to do, the hardest thing, is to get your players to play defense. That's by far the hardest thing to do, and that's when you know you have a good coach, is when you know how to coach, if you have a good defensive team. Popovich, the Warriors are a great defensive team, even the Jazz, Quinn Snyder, poor offensive team, but the fact that you can coach defense, I think, in the NBA makes you a good coach. Mm-hmm. And Brad Stevens has somehow motivated a bunch of 20-year-olds, not much less, to play defense. And so I agree with you. He probably would be second on my list just because we knew Boston was going to be good. And they are good. You lose your one of your best players, okay, but you still have probably a top 10 player in Kyrie Irving. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Victor Oladipo is a top 10 player in the league.
I don't think he's probably a top 20 player in the league. Maybe in the for the season he probably is, but overall I don't think he is. And I don't know what Indiana has done has been much more impressive to me than what Boston's done.
Brad Stevens, I have a negative.
You just have a personal grudge.
He's like that rich guy that stole your girlfriend.
He's Mr. Steel Girl.
Mr. Steel Girl.
Brad Stevens in the sports room will henceforth be known as Mr. Steel Girl.
Mr. Steel Your Girl. I will say, and the reason I picked Boston above Indiana was for the simple fact that they went on the road. Indiana's 8-7 on the road. Boston's 13-5, and I think a lot of that has to do with coaching, because at least that's what I experienced as an athlete. If your coach is putting you in the right positions on the road in hostile environments, you're going to win.
There are very many coaches in the league where you say you can say that they make a real, genuine difference.
Right.
And he's one of them.
One. Uno.
Did you want to add something?
No, I don't want to add anything.
So, Coach of the Year, Derek.
Let's move on.
Mr. Steel Girl. So, Derek and I have got Nate McMillan. Biggen's got Brad Stevens. All right, moving on. Most improved player. So, I'm going to stay in Indiana and go with Victor Oladipo. Is that what you did too?
It is, but I had two. So, Victor Oladipo was the obvious one.
So, I don't know. I didn't feel like there was really any question. Yeah, I mean, he's averaging 24 a game, and for his career, it's 16. Like, he's averaged 8 points per game better. He's got career best in points per game, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, rebounds, and blocks. And he's leading a team that's fourth in the East. And I know the East isn't great, but being fourth in the East, being in the top four in any conference is an accomplishment. And he is the leader of that team. And coming from, he was traded there. That means there was another team in the league that didn't want him, basically.
Yeah.
We don't want you. We're shipping you out to Indianapolis. And now he is, I believe, 10th in the league in scoring, which, I don't know, for all I know, that is, for him to be doing that, a guy who, look, I thought he was a serviceable kind of backup starter, but, wasn't a great player by any means. And now all of a sudden is putting together this great season. So he's the most improved player, in my opinion.
Am I up next? I would. You guys are probably going to look at me crazy for choosing this guy, but I think the most improved player this year is DeMarcus Cousins. And
your boy.
I say that, he's my favorite player, so there's a little bias there. But at the same time, comparative to what he did last year and the year before in Sacramento, he's only up 2 points. He was only averaging 24 last year. He's averaging 26, but he's averaging 12.3 rebounds a game, 5 assists, and as a center, he's averaging 1.5 steals a game.
How many ejections?
He has 2 this year. Okay, so the numbers are down, and that's why
we're creeping up to halfway.
I think he's improved there too, because his attitude has changed better, and the little things don't really tick Boogie off as much as they used to. Now, he did try to go find skin and bones Kevin Durant, like he would have ate KD.
And he's actually on a good team.
He is, and I think
you gotta realize early in his career he played on the Kings.
Yeah,
one of the worst organizations in sports.
That's tough.
And he's finally on a good team,
and he's got a great counterpart in Anthony Davis, and then bringing in Rajon Rondo, I'm like, that's going to be bad because Rondo's attitude sucks. But Cousins, I think he's handled himself as like a pro this year. His numbers have gone up, not very much, but again, a center who can steal, who can block shots, who can score, who can run the floor, who can do all that. Cousins, I think, has elevated his game, so he's the most improved for me.
So I'm going to go with a different one. Victor Oladipo was up there with me. I'm going to go with Giannis.
Oh, yeah.
Giannis? I believe it's Giannis.
I call him Giannis. I call him Giannis Antetokounmpo. Just kidding. So the reason I'm going to go with Giannis, he's averaging 29.7 points and 10 rebounds a game. And last year he averaged 22.9 points a game. So he's up as well, and he's leading that team. He's becoming one of the stars of the NBA. So I think even though he was good last year, his improvement from last year to this year has still grown.
Yeah, his stardom has magnified for sure this year.
He said a funny joke. I was watching ESPN today, and there was like a commercial where he was mentioning a joke. And he's like, have you guys seen the movie Constipation? Have you guys seen that?
No.
Oh, it's because it hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
That was his joke.
LOL.
It was hilarious, and Giannis, most improved for me.
It's tough to disagree with that because, like I said, his stardom has grown so much. But I think we kind of expected this sort of breakout.
Which I think is why he gets overlooked if you talk about most improved. Because Victor Oladipo's like, what the heck? He's good.
Yeah. So that will be a good transition then into breakout player. And so it's different, I think, from most improved player. My breakout player has been Embiid. And is that what you picked too?
Exactly what I had.
And so I made some notes, took down some notes on all these, why I picked each of these people for each of these respective awards. And for Embiid, the only thing that I put was why not. His personality, his personality by itself is probably good enough to win this award. The fact that he is the ultimate troll.
Super.
I mean, like, I don't know. I assume that he talks a lot of smack on the court. Maybe the only person in the league who talks more and better than he does is Draymond Green. And his personality alone has elevated him to this superstar status. Now, his play as well has been great. He's obviously hurt right now. And whenever he plays, the Sixers are a different team.
Pretty sure he's averaging a double-double right now, isn't he? 24
I'm
and
sure,
11.
yeah.
I think he's 24 and 11.
And so he is, and obviously there were huge health concerns throughout his entire career. And so going into the season, the big question was, can he stay healthy? And when he's been healthy, he has been the breakout player of the year. I had a chance to draft him in fantasy basketball, and I didn't. I believe I drafted Kevin Love instead.
Yikes.
And I regret it. I do. I regret it. So breakout player of the year for me is Embiid. So why don't you go?
Yeah, mine was Embiid as well for the same reasons. His personality has just taken over the NBA. He's everywhere. And on top of that, he's backing it up with his numbers, 24 and 11. So that's all I was going to say is Embiid was mine as well. I wish I could disagree with you. I wish I had like another name, but that was my guy.
Obviously, Michael Beasley is my choice. No, I'm just kidding. No. But after the way he was acting last night, he definitely would think that he deserves this award. Dude, you scored 32 points one time. Chill. Anyway, had to get that off my chest because he bothers me. Anyway, so I liked Joel Embiid too, and he was an obvious choice for me, but I decided to go the different route. And you guys probably know who I'm going with because I tweeted about him last night. But I'm going with Lauri Markkanen. I have to. I know he's a rookie. Now, his numbers are not spectacular, okay? He only averages 14 points, 7 rebounds a game, 1.4 assists. Okay, he doesn't look great on paper, but I've watched this kid play. He's 7 feet tall. He runs the court like he's 6'5". He's lethal from downtown, and he changes games for Chicago. He keeps Chicago in games. And against Cleveland, I saw a guy who, in the next 5 to 10 years, is going to be a threat in the East and for any small forward or whatever position is trying to guard him. He's like a more athletic, physically gifted Kristaps Porzingis. That's who he reminds me of. And not to mention, he did put a little slammer jammer on LeBron James the other night.
We talking about unicorn there.
Yeah.
They call Porzingis a unicorn for a reason. Because he is super unique in his physical skill set.
He is unique.
I watched Markkanen play when he was at Arizona. I thought the same thing. I thought this guy is perfectly suited for the NBA today. He's tall, but he has a perimeter game. Mm-hmm. And he's a good athlete, I think. I don't think he's
not great, but he's a good
athlete. But he's a good enough athlete to make it work in this league. He hasn't broken out enough for me to win this.
You don't think so?
I think he could, by the end of the season, might be in the Rookie of the Year conversation, but he hasn't broken out. It's like whenever I think breakout, I think of like someone who surged to the forefront.
But I think that's because he's flying under the radar. Because the dude balls. And the Bulls do play well. They don't get a lot of media coverage, let's be honest. When we're talking about the East, right now we're talking about Victor Oladipo. We're talking about LeBron and them on their hot streak. And we're talking about Boston. Markkanen, it's like, okay, yeah, he's doing good, but we're not going to pay a lot of attention to him. For me, I've kept a close eye on him, and to me, he's not – I get what you're saying. He hasn't broken out like that, but I think he is a breakout player. And I think Joel Embiid is the obvious choice, but Markkanen was a runner-up for me.
That's good.
Oh, so you don't want to say anything?
No,
You're on a talk show and you don't want to talk.
I was going to say
silence.
I don't know what my deal is. Is it just pronunciation? Is it Markkanen or is it Markkanen?
I have no idea.
I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Yeah, me too. He's Finnish.
I'm calling him Giannis. I said Nick Folk instead of Foles.
You should have issues. Are you dyslexic or something? Is that what dyslexia is?
I must be dyslexic.
So.
Must be dyslexic.
Dick slinks.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know.
That was all I was going to say.
If I had to guess, I'd actually probably say that it's Markkanen. But I've heard people say Markkanen. But I don't know. He's Finnish, whatever that means. I know he means he's from Finland, but however that might imply to the pronunciation of his name.
Is he a good finisher? Oh gosh, I gotta get off this pun train today.
Ding. All right, so I went Embiid, Derek went Embiid, and Biggen went with Larry Markkanen. All right, the big gun. Last one of the day.
We're probably going to all disagree on this one. I think we had this conversation a while back.
MVP. I want to let you guys go first because mine's kind of a weird answer.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I want you to go first.
Yours is a weird answer.
Well, it's not. I should probably change it because it's not as
curious
straightforward as it should be. But go ahead.
Co-MVPs.
Can I say? Is it possible to have a tie?
No.
Dang. Never mind. All right.
No, Darius. No.
This is not. We don't do participation trophies.
This isn't
here.
soccer,
Either you're
Darius.
the MVP or you're not.
This
No
isn't
moral
soccer.
victories.
This isn't hockey. This is the sports room. There's no
This
ties.
is real.
Hockey doesn't tie either, bro.
Well, yeah, you're right. Now they used to, right?
I don't know.
They used to tie.
Did they?
I think they still tie. Can we look this up? I know they go to overtime, but I think they still tie.
All right, go ahead.
Darius, look that up while I go. I'm gonna go. We talked about this a little bit ago. I'm gonna go with James Harden, the beard, fear the beard, and I'm okay. 2 years ago, I lived with you, Bubba. You knew this. My two favorite non-Jazz players in the NBA were Russell Westbrook and James Harden. James Harden has slipped significantly down that list because he is not fun to watch for me. It is he gets to the line and just shoots free throws, and 70% of the calls on him are just ridiculous, I feel like. But his ability to get to the line and score for his team and lead his team is on a whole nother level, I think. Mm-hmm. So he's averaging 31.9 points a game. And he has he averages
the league, right? Scoring?
Yeah, he's leading the league in scoring. And as of right now, I looked it up, and he has a 64.8% chance of winning the MVP. He's also averaging, on top of leading the NBA in scoring, he has 9 assists per game he's averaging, which is pretty impressive because people think, oh, he's not passing, whatever. He averages 9 assists a game. And on top of that, his team is 25-5 and leading a stacked Western Conference. Yeah. So for me, you can't doubt it. Like, I'm not saying James Harden's the funnest to watch. I do enjoy when he is hitting from deep and doing his little cooking thing.
That's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
I love that. And I still do love James Harden. I love the beard. I love everything. But, like, I just don't like necessarily how he does it. He gets it done. I just don't like how he does it. I went to the Jazz Rockets game, and it was like, you stick your hand out in front of him, and it's a foul. Even if he doesn't even try anything, you know. He had, like, 3-and-1 threes that were like, I didn't even think he touched him. He just gets all those calls. But he leads his team to wins, and he's the MVP right now for me.
Biggen.
You know, I was going to lead towards the King because everything that everybody else is doing, it's like he's taking it and doing it on purpose to show, hey, I'm going to do it too because I'm that great. But I'm with Derek here. I'm going with Mr. Harden himself, the beard. Honestly, I want him to shave it because I want to see what he looks like with no hair in his face.
Have you looked him up?
I haven't seen him like that for a while.
Have you seen his teeth?
His teeth are like...
He looks like Marty from Madagascar without a beard. The zebra. He definitely does. But I'm going with James Harden. And, I mean, you already quoted off all the numbers, so there's no need for that. And I think that he definitely made a statement. Obviously, this Lakers team, they're young, they're struggling, but he put up 51 points against the Los Angeles Lakers, 4 of 6 from deep, 9 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. I mean, he does it all. The dude passes, he rebounds, he scores. And personally, I think his MVP award is well overdue. Yeah. Because, yes, Steph Curry deserved his first MVP. But when Steph Curry got the unanimous MVP, first of all, he should have never been the first to get it because Shaquille O'Neal should have. Sorry. But James Harden should have won the MVP that year. I thought James Harden was the MVP, even though I'm a huge Steph Curry fan. And then last year, he's going up against Russell Westbrook, who's averaging a triple-double.
Yeah,
and that's kind of hard to argue
co-MVPs. A lot of people thought that.
And I would have been fine with that. But at the same time, you don't want to share the MVP with nobody. You want to be recognized as the best. And I think this year, this is James Harden's year to win the MVP. However, I feel like they're going to snub him again, and LeBron James is going to walk away with it. But I think Harden is the clear MVP.
On top of that, though, last stat before we get to you, Bubba, James Harden, they've played 30 games, and he started and played all 30 of them.
All 30.
So we're talking about most valuable player. That's a big stat as well.
Okay.
Okay.
You're going to say depends. Like Costa Koufis.
Yeah, MVP, Rudy Gobert. No, just kidding. This depends because a lot of people have differing opinions on what the MVP award is. Okay, so some people might say, okay, well, it's evident in the name, the most valuable player. Okay, or is the MVP just the best player in the league, the person who has the best season? Those aren't necessarily the same thing. Okay? And I want to try and satisfy both of those demands. I think it's really hard. LeBron James is still the best player in the league, and he is having the best season of his career at age, 33?
Yeah.
Or 33 or 32.
Old.
His 15th season. Career best assists and rebounds per game.
Yep.
He's averaging higher than his career average in points. Playing more, almost 38 minutes a game, which everyone keeps talking about his minutes, how he needs rest and everything. I don't want to hear anything about rest.
Let that man play.
This is what happens when LeBron plays. If you let him go out and play as much as you want and not monitor or limit his minutes or anything, this is the kind of play that you get. And so I'm tired of hearing about rest and how many minutes his body is logged. Okay, soccer players run for 90 minutes straight, and Messi never misses a game. Ronaldo never misses a game unless they're hurt. So I don't want to hear about rest. Okay, he's playing all these minutes, and he is having one of the best seasons of his career. He's got the Cavs in second place in the East, maybe second or third. He's having probably one of the best seasons of his career. So it's hard to say that he's not the best player in the league because he is. Now, is he the most valuable player in the league? He's probably one of them, if not the most. But Kyrie Irving is also, in terms of value to his team,
Yeah, you're right
up there.
Didn't think of that.
Lost his wingman in the first 5 minutes of the season, and now he's the leader of a team with a bunch of 20-year-olds. Oh, and by the way, that team's first in the East. And he's playing defense. I feel like that's kind of shocking.
It's very shocking because he doesn't do that.
He's on a team that collectively plays great defense. And so, in terms of value to their team, look, it's going to be hard to say that LeBron wouldn't win that argument, but Kyrie Irving also would. And he's having a great season. He's top 10 in scoring. Assist numbers probably aren't where they'd like to be, but that's never really been his thing. But in terms of value to their team, he's right there. He's right up there.
I would agree that those are two players that are extremely valuable to their team, but so is James Harden. He adds the same value. They have Chris Paul. But other than that, they've got Trevor Ariza, Eric Gordon. James Harden is leading a team 25-5 in the West. Without him, they are not 25-5.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, I think, to say. And did you want to add something there, Biggen? I think that's fair to say.
They're all valuable.
They're all valuable. But I just think if you take Harden off the Rockets, you still have a very high caliber point guard, Chris Paul, to run the team. He's not James Harden. He's not going to score the way James Harden does, but he can still run that team. If you take Kyrie Irving off the Celtics, there's nobody that can run that team. Marcus Smart cannot run that team. Jason Tatum's going to be good, not ready yet.
But you can't punish James Harden because he has a point guard that could take over a team and lead that team. They would still not be anywhere near where they are right now.
No.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There are two different viewpoints at what MVP can be.
I have a theory that with the MVP race, they try to spread it out. Didn't Kobe only win one MVP his whole career?
One. And the two that Steve Nash got, he should have got.
In 20 years. And it's people have argued, you could give it to LeBron every year.
Every year.
But they don't. I feel like they kind of...
he's the best player in the league.
He's been the best player in the league
Russ
for the last
got
13 years.
Okay, we'll give it to James this time. Kyrie, if you have a good year next year...
Just maybe,
Might be your turn.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel like at this point, this is LeBron's trophy. And I don't know how many has he won? 3?
Yes.
LeBron's got 3 MVPs?
I don't know.
He has.
Maybe
I know
4.
he has 2 for sure. I don't know if it's 3 exactly.
He's won 4 times.
He's won 4 MVPs?
4 MVPs.
Yeah.
Get that man
Can't believe
5.
we didn't know that.
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing in
Shame
here?
on us.
Sorry,
Yeah, he's won
folks.
4
I knew
MVPs.
Disappointed.
And, he deserves to have that many. And he's the best player in the league. And I feel like at this point, whoever wins it, they're just lending their trophy to him. He's just lending his trophy out to other people. I think when Karl Malone won it, he, in his speech, thanked Michael Jordan for lending him his trophy. That's how it is with LeBron right now. He's the best player in the league, and anybody who wins MVP is just borrowing that trophy from him.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. It just depends on how you view the award, I think. I think in terms of value, there is no player in the league who's doing more with less than Kyrie Irving, I think.
he's playing with a bunch of essentially teenagers out there, people who have been in the league, with the exception of Al Horford, who's past it. He's the opposite. He is past it, and can't play any longer at the level that he once did. And so there's nobody in the league that's doing more with less.
Who do you think that they would give it to right now?
Right now, probably LeBron.
You think that it would go to LeBron right now?
I think it'd go to LeBron right now.
Oh, I'm 100% thinking that they would give it to James Harden right now.
But I agree with Bubba. I think it deserves to go to James Harden, but the way that the league is going right now and the way that LeBron is,
the way he's covered
in the media right now, and the way that he's playing, it's the King's Trophy. This is, for some reason, I just have the feeling like this is the year of LeBron. I'm calling him LeBron right now.
The difference is in the media. And ultimately, they're ones that vote on this. And I think the way that he's covered, it seems to me that he's going to win it.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
I think they'd give it to James Harden right now.
You're probably right, because he probably, in 99% of seasons, he would have won it last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was only the second time someone had averaged a triple-double, and so you had to give it to Russ. And so I think, right now, this season, I would be okay if they gave it to James Harden. I think he would deserve it. But I think the way that things are trending right now, and with the personality and, the fame surrounding LeBron, I think, if they were giving it out today, they would give it to him.
To LBJ, yeah.
Darius, do we have a stat that we were looking up?
Yeah, we were looking up hockey. I was just waiting for you to ask me, my brother.
Forgot what it was.
What hockey does, so they used to do that. They used to tie.
Listen up, hockey fans.
I believe they stopped that in the 2000, right after the 2006
so
season.
It's pretty recent.
Yeah,
okay.
And then as of 2015, they started doing the shootout. So you don't end on a tie anymore. You basically
you never end in a tie anymore.
You have an overtime until as many overtimes as it takes.
Sudden death overtime, and now
sudden death.
Now starting this season, I think, or last season, they do 3-on-3 overtimes.
Yeah,
and it is fun to watch.
It's great to watch.
It's up and down, and it's just wide open shots, and it's just.
Yep.
Bubba and I started watching hockey a few years ago for the first time.
I got my Blackhawks sweater right there.
And I'm wearing a San Jose Sharks hat right now.
Great.
Yeah. Bubba's got his Blackhawks thing. It's fun to watch.
It's great.
And to invest in it is just fun to do.
Yeah,
I think.
And it's a great sport to learn about and to get excited about.
And their highlights are as entertaining as any highlights.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to sit here on this show though and act like I know a ton about hockey and be like, let's talk hockey. But
this is all there is to know.
So fun.
This is
all
you need to know about hockey. Wayne Gretzky's the great one, and he's going to hold every record that there ever is going to be forever.
And here's the other thing you need about hockey.
True.
What's his bucket that
What's his bucket?
What's his face?
And who you say?
On the skates?
The guy that announces the games is so fun.
Oh, the guy on NBC.
What's his name?
He's
some Canadian.
His name is. I can't remember either, but he's got white hair.
Name. Yeah, he is so good. When you watch it, it's like, he goes, it's so fun.
What does he say?
Watch hockey. Don't watch hockey. Just watch some.
Is it Mike Emmerich?
Yes,
Mike Emmerich.
That is him. He was born to call hockey games.
It's
that
great.
Is his calling.
He makes it exciting.
He is awesome to listen to.
And did you ever play NHL Hits back in the day?
I did.
Oh, that game was so fun.
That game was fun. That along with NFL
Blitz.
Speaking of which,
it's all about Sid the Kid.
I never play my Xbox, but I'm either gonna get NBA 2K18, Madden 18, or FIFA 18.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Which one should I get?
NBA 2K18 has changed my life. I got the
I've never really been into the NBA.
I got the gold edition. I got the Shaq edition.
I've struggled with NBA sometimes.
Hey,
I've never been into basketball video games.
Is it good?
Oh, it looks just
I've never really been into basketball video games. You know how much I love FIFA.
FIFA's great.
I was leaning towards FIFA.
That's a tough choice.
Madden, but
that's a tough choice. I heard Madden is disappointing.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
I go FIFA of those.
FIFA's great. I love FIFA, and I hate soccer. I don't know anything about
soccer.
All
the money I'm making from this show, maybe I'll get both.
Dude, we're millionaires.
We're freaking rich. Because 5 people watch all of our videos.
Tell your friends.
Mental fortitude.
Guys, Merry Christmas. We're not going to do a show on Christmas, obviously. So the next time we'll do a show will be a week from today.
Yeah. Ho, ho, my brothers.
Merry Christmas to all my guys in here. Merry Christmas to everybody watching. Do you guys want to give a Christmas message?
Looking forward to that egg souffle from my mom.
Egg souffle?
Yeah.
That's my Christmas message.
Have a great Christmas. Have a safe Christmas. Spend it with family and friends. We'll see you guys here next Friday. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, find us on Facebook, or you can contact us at thesportsroomtalkshow@gmail.com.
Remember the reason for the season.
Have a great holiday. Peace.